Is what I'm excited for, ladies and gentlemen. Why aren't the Chiefs favored versus the 49ers? Why are people betting against Mahomes and siding with a 49ers team that struggled all playoffs long? Does Brock Purdy have enough to win the Super Bowl? Let me tell you, he has a very high-powered offense. You can't get that away from him. And he could go it all, but we haven't been too bad with the checkdowns either, Brock. So don't try and test us against our top two defense. But also, I saw the Pat McAfee show. Shout out to Pat McAfee. And he's saying that the Chiefs have accepted a villain role. And this is building fuel. I fully agree. Mahomes will take all the fuel that he can get and light a fire with it. This also gets
Yeah.
Travis Kelce, gets the whole team fired up. They love being the underdogs. They've basically been underdogs the whole playoff long, apart from Miami. And guess what? They managed to beat every team that they came up with, especially the Bills. That's when they're like, okay, Josh Allen's finally gonna take his revenge in the playoffs. And then he beat them. Lamar Jackson, same thing. The defense completely shuts it down. So it should be interesting.
You've seen the edits. You've seen the Lamar Jackson edits when they were rooting for him to win so that Taylor Swift doesn't get a ring. Now, now you're seeing the Brock Purdy edits. People are hating Mahomes and the Chiefs, and it's partially because of Taylor Swift. And I think that hasn't worked in the Chiefs' favor in that sense. It's worked in a lot of ways for the Chiefs. It's brought more fans. It's brought more social media. It's brought more attention to the Chiefs. She has nothing to do with the team. Now that they are playing a team that has struggled in the playoffs, I think this could be one of their more dominant games. I think the Chiefs could have a really good running game with Pacheco and a really solid game off the play action. I feel like this is somewhere where you can hammer the front four because in this playoff they haven't been that good. Nick Bosa hasn't been as good as he has been. Eric Armstead hasn't been exceptional, and neither has Chase Young. I feel like you can hammer that front four and power through Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw, as hard as that may be. You got to send tight ends at them. You got to block them when running the ball. Because Fred Warner is the best linebacker in the NFL right now, and that is a hot take, but he is. When you watch the guy play, there's nothing that he does badly. You got to send Travis Kelce, whoever you want. You got to send them at him. You got to block him. You got to turn him to the side. You got to get to the outside. I feel like that's possible. I feel like if they can build the running game, I don't think that Charvarius Ward and Diomedor Lenoir will have that significant of an impact on the running game. I feel like if you run their way, you're at least getting 5 to 6 yards a run. And I could be wrong. I understand that they're some of the better tackling corners in the NFL. But I really like the Chiefs' chances at running to the outside if, like I say, they take that tight end and they block Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner.
That is an interesting take. But when you go back to the Brock Purdy edits, the Lamar Jackson edits, all that, last Super Bowl, it was the same thing with Jalen Hurts. Only one man that can stop Jackson Mahomes from dancing in the Super Bowl. It seems like everyone always has something against the Chiefs. It's not just Taylor Swift. It could be Brittany Mahomes, Jackson Mahomes. Like, why? Why are you hating on us so bad? Is it because we're winning too much? Is it because the Chiefs are winning too much and you don't want to see them anymore? I remember seeing I don't remember that. But I don't remember seeing Tom Brady like getting all this smoke.
He was.
Seriously.
That's the thing. There were Tom Brady lovers, and then there were Tom Brady haters. There were people who bandwagoned the Patriots because they were winning so much, and they wanted to root for them because they were winning. And then there's people on the other hand cheering for other teams, other good teams, other contenders, and keep seeing Tom Brady win over and over and over again. Get to the AFC Championship, get a ring, go far, win MVP. And people started to hate that. I was at the point where I had watched Tom Brady all my life. and I was happy to see him retire. And it's not because I don't respect the guy as a quarterback. It's not because I don't respect the Patriots as a good team. It's that I didn't like the way that they kept winning, and it became almost boring. Super Bowls become more interesting when there's different teams and teams with different identities and teams with good stories. The Chiefs have had a good story, but now people don't want to see them win because either they have teams who were in it, teams who have been eliminated by the Chiefs, or they don't like it. They just don't want a team to repetitively win. And I don't think that's very fair because the Chiefs are an excellent team. They're really likable, I find, and they're generally a good organization to watch. They're very fun. They run a lot of tricky plays. They've got a good quarterback. They're easy to root for, I find.
Mm, that's fair enough. But a big factor, I think, what took a toll on the voting is a no Charles Omenihu, and he has been the pressure god this season. He's gotten to a quarterback, and we saw for the past 2 games, Purdy has not done really well under pressure. We saw him against the Lions; he was scrambling a lot more. But if we have been blitzing, the Chiefs have been blitzing a lot this season. I think they're going to continue doing that, especially with Justin Reed, the safety. He has been perfect with the blitzes. He has been getting the sacks. Not many safeties can do that, right? So
Yeah.
it's all about taking shots. I feel in the Super Bowl, you're gonna have to gamble a lot in the Super Bowl, just like last time around. Famous moment in Super Bowl 54 when Mahomes wanted the wasp play. I don't know if you guys remember that,
Mm.
but yeah, Mahomes wanted a wasp, and that takes lots of time. And with the amazing Niner D line with Nick Bosa, you didn't have much time, so you had to get it out as fast as possible, right? And they
Mm.
took the gamble, they got it. So this is, in my opinion, we're in Las Vegas. You're gonna be gambling a lot this whole, whole game.
Yeah. And what I think is you'll be gambling on field goals. You're inside a dome.
Mm.
You're in a closed stadium. There's not going to be any wind. I think that there will be multiple kicks from range. That maybe 4th and 1, 4th and 2, you have a chance to go for it, and you take the kick instead. Because at this point in the season, you just want to win this game. You want all the points you can get. I wouldn't gamble too much, but I would gamble on those deep kicks. I trust Harrison Butker. I don't trust Jake Moody. I'm confident the Chiefs will win that battle, the kicking battle. If they can win if it's going to be
I
hard
mean,
to win the running game, but if they can win the running game and they can win the kicking battle, that's all it takes because you have an exceptional defense to back it up. I wouldn't be surprised if this is low scoring. Maybe within 20, maybe within 30. I would probably say within 30, but within 20 each isn't out of the cards.
yeah, definitely. Also, we talk about what I want to say. We talk about Harrison Butker. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to say. Hold up, hold up. Actually, let me just switch. You think it's gonna be that low of a scoring game?
I think that neither team is going to have more than 30 points. Both really good defenses and both really good running games when they want it. The Chiefs have been more of a passing team traditionally, but like I said, if you can hit the running game with Pacheco and Edwards-Helaire whenever you want him, go to the outsides and maybe wear down that Niners front seven. Like I said, the front four haven't been very good. The D line hasn't been very good this playoffs. The linebackers, you can deal with them. But if you keep running the ball, I don't think they're going to score every possession by running the ball. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Niners keep running the ball because if I'm going to be honest, the Chiefs haven't done really well against the run this postseason. They were really good against the Ravens, but the Ravens didn't run the ball very much. Against the Bills, they completely abandoned the run when it came time. If they continued to run that ball because that's what had been working with James Cook, that could have paid off. And that goes the same thing for the Dolphins. They needed to keep running the ball in that cold weather. I feel like both teams will have that running game working. But like I say, it's hard to score touchdowns every time when you're moving the ball slowly. I wouldn't be surprised if it's within 20 points each, and I definitely wouldn't be surprised if it's within 30 points each.
And that's fair enough. I got back what I wanted to say. I've been watching the Chiefs all season long, and I've noticed one thing. They're an offense that scores on the first drive every playoff. Every playoff
Mm.
they manage to somehow score in their first drive, which is impressive because they take points immediately. But they also make a statement on defense on the opponent's first drive as well. Right? But what I've seen most season is the Chiefs getting into field goal range and Harrison Butker kicking. Harrison Butker has had a career year. I think we can all agree. Right?
He's been exceptional.
Also, exactly. So they just get the kick. So that's all they were doing pretty much all season. They get in field goal range. They try to maybe get a touchdown. But if it doesn't pan out, they'll kick with Harrison Butker. Why? Because they trust their defense so much to hold them without points. And you know what? That's how good that if that's how you want to play this Super Bowl, play it like that. You just gotta hold this really powerful Niner offense.
Yeah. Harrison Butker's only missed 2 field goals all year. He's been money, and that's helped the Chiefs make it this far, make it to the playoffs, and win some games. Butker kicking is one of the biggest factors for the Niners, especially. If you can control the Butker field goals, if you can force him to miss one or get him out of range, that might be winnable. But with Butker's leg and the way that he's been kicking, that's really, really hard to do, especially if the Chiefs move the ball slowly and consistently. Burn some clock, end up getting into field goal range, and kick the ball. Get your 3 points. If he kicks 3 field goals, you're getting an extra 9 points. That Chiefs offense isn't bad. I wouldn't be surprised if they score at least 1 touchdown, and I wouldn't be surprised if they score 2. That would lead them to 23 points, and with that defense, I think 23 points is enough to win the Super Bowl.
Fair enough. That's a great statement. But on the other side, we have Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey, and like you said, we have struggled a little with the run game. But if we get Drew Tranquil, Willie Gay, and Nick Bolton to show up, this game's over. I think what's gonna be the deciding factor is just contain Debo Samuel and CMC. Kittle and Ayuk are scary, right? But you can always deal with them. That my main concern is CMC and Debo. We've seen how much Debo has affected their team once it's not 100%. We've seen how this team crumbles once they're not 100%. Right? They could be 90% and they won't even be able to put their performances that they normally do. Heck, they can't even be 95. They won't be as sharp.
Mm-hmm.
If Debo Samuel gets injured, which I hope doesn't happen, I want a fair Super Bowl where we have the actual 2 best teams face out. If Debo Samuel gets injured, though, that's over for the Niners. We saw how they were struggling against the Packers, and that's the Packers. It's no Chief. It's no Chief defense.
Yeah. I feel like if any of the weapons are lost for the Chiefs' weapons are replaceable. They have a good backup running back. They have good backup receivers. Their backup tight ends fine. But the Niners, with all the key pieces they have, if any of them aren't at 100%, they could be in trouble.
Yeah, we've seen it all year against the Browns. We saw no no Debo and no CMC. That's where we saw the peak. All right, Purdy can't do anything without CMC. So even if
Mm.
CMC gets injured, that team is down to 70%. Despite all the
Yeah.
superstars that they have, they are down to 70%. That's how much CMC is so important to this team.